Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I did not even put my, I did not even put my, can't even talk this morning. I did not even put my, little thingy doogie out. My thingy doogie. Make y'all laugh this morning. My 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. You have it. But evidently they've had a 7.0 earthquake this morning. Hey, Debbie W. in California. And Nala, she ran calling wildfire. Hello, hello. And R. Taylor, hello, hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. So evidently they had this earthquake this morning in California. Many prayers out to them. Tattooed Mama, Minnie, hello, hello. Yeah, watching the news. And so they had this in is it Humboldt County? And oh my gosh, many prayers out to them. Many prayers out. It extends to Davenport, California, 10 miles northwest of Santa Cruz, Douglas County line, and down to Oregon, about 10 miles northwest of Florence. What is going on? And there's a tsunami warning now. That's right. They better get ready soon. That's right. Hello, where's the summer? 1-800-TBI-FIND. And Debbie and Kendra. Yeah, the end is coming soon. Everybody better pay attention. Tsunami warning now. Victoria Burgess, hello. Minnie, hello, hello. Yeah, is Oregon, California line? Yeah. I have a friend over in Oregon too, and it was one of my mom's very, very good friends. Hello, Marlena. Hello. Crooked Arrow, 5 million people under tsunami warning. Hey, Jude, may I ask a favor if I could pray for my son in the hospital? Absolutely. Many prayers for your son. Absolutely. Daisy Joe, many of the watchmen and women have been saying a big quake was coming to California. Prophecy is being fulfilled. Absolutely. I believe that too. Prickly prayer. Oh my, Marlena. Yeah, absolutely. Prayers. I know we have some creators over in that area. I don't know where. I hope everybody's safe. But regardless, I hope everybody is safe. Oh my. I'm going to share. Yeah, Josh is up there. It's okay. So is he in that area, Marlena? That's what I didn't know. Oh my word. I hope everybody is safe. Okay. Hold on just a minute. We're going to do this. Hold on. Oh my God. Hold on. Oh my God. California earthquake day. I think this is it. Lord, I don't know, honeys. No, that's not what I want. Hold on a minute. Oh my God. Hold on, y'all. Stop sharing screen. Lord have mercy. That's not what I want. Hold on.
My phone. And obviously, I looked at it, saw it,
That's everybody.
to see if they had gotten any information, and then just grabbed my family, checked on my neighbor who is 91 years old and elderly to make sure she was evacuated as well, and got in the car and drove off. I also got an alert from our school district that they were evacuating kids to an area up the hill. and we're asked for parents to come pick up your children immediately.
And Gianna, you make a good point. You mentioned that you had to tell your neighbor. There's a different community here that may not have smartphones and may have not got that tsunami warning that was just been issued. So let's talk about that real fast. If you have received that tsunami warning or you haven't heard just yet, the best thing you could do right now is move inland. Go as far inland and high as possible away from the coast. Due to this tsunami evacuation throughout all these zones right now, that's what we're monitoring right now. Another thing, of course, stay away from the water, move out of the water, off the beaches, away from the harbors, the marinas, the breakwaters, and of course, the bay too. That is the other thing. There's community members just along the ferry building throughout the marina. We mentioned all throughout San Francisco along the shorelines that if they haven't got that alert on their smartphone, maybe they don't have a smartphone, this is the time now to evacuate, to get to that higher ground. There's plenty of hills throughout San Francisco. And let's actually just take a quick look at that graphic fast. As we zoom in, you'll see it on the left side of your screen. This was just offshore of the San Andreas Fault. This was offshore of Fortuna, just a little bit south of it, a magnitude 7.0. Originally, when it was reported by the USGS, it was only a 6.0. We watched that upgrade as we started to see those aftershocks along that coastline. Now you head all the way down into San Francisco, you see all that pink just highlighted around our communities, our homes. That's the tsunami warning that's impacting everywhere throughout San Francisco. Down along the bay, across our bay bridges, and all the way up closer to Napa and Sonoma. This was at 10:44 this morning, 62 miles just offshore of Ferndale, and we're now seeing the impacts from that here locally. And of course, the National Weather Service also made another comment too. The estimated tsunami start time for selected areas in our communities, San Francisco alone expected to see those waves really coming in around 12:10. That's within the next 30 minutes, and we continue to keep a close eye on that here at KPIX. Reed?
And check on your neighbor. This is just one of those moments. You heard the fire captain there say, listen, check on your neighbors. Get to that higher ground. Make sure that somebody you know next to you is also doing the same. And if they can't, help them out. This is a time when community is so important. You know, in situations like these, you often start to see touchstones, human touchstones to the story. I just got this from the San Rafael City School District. This school district covers many schools there in San Rafael, and San Rafael has portions that are right there at the water's edge. They are saying they are aware of the tsunami warnings, but they want to let parents know that emergency officials are in touch with all schools, and at this time, all students and staff are safe. The school day, at least in San Rafael, is continuing as normal. That's a contrast to what we saw, Liz, down in Pacifica, where young people are being evacuated up to Oceana High School.
Yeah, that's right, Reed. And we're hearing that BART is actually holding trains to the Transbay Tube out of precaution for this. And we're still, kind of seeing how the different communities along the coastline there. Okay, hold on. My producer's talking to me real quick. Say that again, Dave. Okay, we're hearing they're also clearing trains out of underground stations as well. Now we're hearing several schools are evacuated. And earlier, about 10 minutes ago, we spoke with the captain with the San Francisco Fire Department, saying that if you live near the coast, I'm talking if you live in San Francisco, if you live in the outer Richmond, if you live over by Ocean Beach, you live near the Marina area, very densely populated areas. If you go to school in one of those areas, check on your kids. You're probably looking for ways to get to higher ground. Also along, if you can see a bridge or you can get to a bridge easily from where your home is in San Francisco, chances are you need to move to higher ground. The fire captain said right now there's not necessarily an evacuation point. They're working on that now. I'm anticipating some information coming on that. But when in doubt, move to higher ground. Luckily in San Francisco,
stay out of the water, they're saying.
Area, so when in doubt,
stay out of the water
and go to those areas.
12:10, those waters are supposed to crest in San Francisco, and we start to see those first waves. But in the meantime, we're going to go to Ryan Yamamoto, who is watching the conversation happening on social media. Ryan, what are you seeing?
Social media. This is happening up in the northern part of Ferndale. We're seeing that the Victoria Inn has sustained some damage there. That is the historic inn in Ferndale that is just south of Eureka. So we're seeing some damage up there. We're also seeing some damage at an Alamo pool that is shaking. But I want to give you some perspective on what is happening here. because we had talked about the magnitude 7.0 earthquake.
Y'all bear with
Trying
me
to
a
give you an idea of the
Y'all bear with me
trying
a
to give you an idea of how big of an earthquake this is. Loma Prieta in 1989, that was a 6.9 earthquake. Northridge in 1994, that was a 6.7, and probably the most recent that at least we remember here in Northern California and Napa in 2014, that was a 6.0 earthquake. You also talked about with Brian Hackney talking about the extent of the potential tsunami that might be hitting the coast of California, and if indeed a tsunami is triggered. He was talking about the size of the earthquake related to the extent of the tsunami. Probably the two most recent things that are ingrained, at least in my mind, when you talk about tsunamis and damages, you're thinking about Japan. That tsunami in 2001, well, that was sparked by a 9.0 earthquake. So that's a huge difference, a 9.0 versus a 7.0 earthquake. And then, of course, in 2004, you have that big tsunami in the Indian Ocean. That was sparked by a 9.2 or 9.3. So there you have your comparison about how strong the tsunami may or may not be versus a 7.0. But we're looking at some video right now of some damage happening in some different areas right now. I believe this is in Alamo.
That's a huge
they felt some
earthquake.
shaking at this pool right there. And so, as you know, when the earthquake hits a pool, the water starts sloshing in and out. But the good news is the epicenter of this earthquake, even though it's extremely strong and it's off the coast of Northern California, it's in a very remote area, so there's not a lot of large buildings. And so not a lot of things that can come toppling down.
You're welcome.
But we're working to get some images coming off from the Victoria Inn in Ferndale. And you can see, and from that video, once we get that up running, you can see a lot of bottles on the ground. The door of the inn, the historic inn, has fallen down, and the bar area is completely just shattered glass all over the place. But as you can see, the extent of the tsunami all the way from the San Francisco Bay Area up past the Oregon coast. We're keeping a very close eye. I think you had mentioned that a lot of people are timing the potential tsunami. And then you're seeing a lot of people right now, they're getting to high ground, and you have a lot of looky-loos. There's a lot of video and pictures of people on top of Fort Mason looking down at the bay. They're in a safe location, but they're trying to witness what potentially might be a tsunami coming into the San Francisco Bay.
Thank you, Ryan. I want to get to Angie, who works at a Humboldt. And Angie, are you on the phone? Can you hear me okay? Angie, are you there?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hi,
I can hear you.
It's Elizabeth with CBS News Bay Area. We're hearing that you felt the earthquake. What was that like? Tell us about the shaking, that initial quake.
It was pretty frightening. It all happened so suddenly. We're all moving around trying to get the restaurant ready for opening. We opened in less than 10 minutes, and all of a sudden it just started shaking. We're also out of breath from running out and grabbing everything that was important and grabbing each other. The first thing we worried about was just grabbing one another and getting out of there.
Sure. And where have you gone now? Have you moved to higher ground?
Well, there isn't really any immediate higher ground near us. We're right at the edge by the river, right here at the Rio del River, the Eel River. And so the first thing was just to get outside, but there isn't any real higher ground directly next to us. We'd have to run a couple blocks.
And we're hearing the power is out to most of that area. Are you seeing that where you are?
Yeah, we have no power. We're unable to open the restaurant. We're currently just trying to assess the damage, clean up a little bit, and then keep the refrigerators closed. Since there's no power, we don't want anything else spoiling any further.
And what are crews in the area telling you? Are you seeing a lot of emergency crews going around telling folks to try to get out of there?
Yeah, we went to the bar right attached to the building. We went to go check on her, and she was very distraught. And then we checked on the neighboring stores, made sure everybody got out okay. And it looks like everyone got out okay.
And Angie, what's the plan moving forward here? I mean, there's still a tsunami warning for that area. Are you moving to another area? Are you staying outside where it's safer in case there is another earthquake? We know there's been some aftershocks.
Well,
some years ago, this is so sad. This is so sad. Some years ago, when I was working at the phone company, and some really good friends of mine were going to adopt some children. And I forget where, I honestly forgot, I apologize, where the tsunami hit. It was a huge tsunami overseas. And unfortunately, the two, I think it was 2 children, the little boys that they were going to adopt, was caught up in the tsunami. It was very heart-wrenching and heartbreaking, especially for my friends. I never will forget that. But tsunamis are very scary, as well as earthquakes. Earthquakes, you don't really get any warning. Yeah, all earthquakes are angry. I never will forget being in a store one time, and they're like, would you rather be in a hurricane, an earthquake, a tornado, yada, yada, yada? I'm like, man, I don't know. I wouldn't want to be in an earthquake. I'd get pissed at my stuff being broke, shook off a wall all the time. But, that was years ago. And that's just material things, honestly. But can you imagine being in an earthquake and things being down in the the earth in a sink, in a hole gone, being swallowed up? And then on top of that, just like this, a tsunami? No, I wouldn't want that. No. Same with a tornado, but at least you kind of get those horns and stuff. And with a hurricane, you get days. I mean, oh my gosh. Yeah. Why do people worry about their belongings? Those are replaceable. Families, all those things are not replaceable. None of that matters. None of that matters. None of that matters. Look at this. And then you think way over here back how my friends were going to adopt those little boys with the tsunami. They were just gone in the blink of an eye. In the blink of an eye. There's no telling how many lives will be lost in this today and in the days to come. Oh my gosh, this is heartbreaking. We didn't think this earlier. We didn't think it earlier.
For the first few minutes, we were remaining outside, but everybody's just so on edge. We decided to go check on the neighboring stores, make sure everyone got out all right. And then once that was done, we came back, and right now we're just assessing the damage and trying to clean up a little bit. But we'll probably move
it's
once
chaos right
everybody
now.
gets back with their kids. My bosses need to go pick
Especially
up
with
their
no
kids.
warning. It's chaos. People are going to be without gas.
Right, and talk to us about the communication in these
It's gonna be
areas, because
bottleneck.
all of the emergency responders from the Oregon coast all the way down to where we are in San Francisco and beyond are saying, stay in touch with these alerts, pay attention to these alerts. What kind of communications are you getting there in Humboldt County? If the power is off, are you just limited to cell phone communication?
Yeah, we're just working with the phones. Thankfully, we have a landline that we're using right now.
Paint us a picture, because we saw some of the images out of a business there. It looked like it was powerful enough to rip a door off the hinges and shake up things quite a bit. Paint us a picture. If you were calling on the cell phone and you were telling somebody out of state what you're seeing, what are you seeing?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of pieces of the drywall everywhere. We're in a very old building, so we tried to quickly get out. But
Can you imagine
the
being there on
refrigerators are
vacation?
swinging open. Things are falling out of the refrigerator, and then chunks of the wall, we could hear it cracking and see it cracking. And so right now we're just trying to sweep up all the mess from the broken chunks of wall.
Okay, Angie, thank you so much. Important to get your perspective. We will be checking back in with you, hoping that you and everyone in your community are safe. But Liz and Jess, this is just important to talk about here, because they were the closest. They are the touchstone to what is now the ripple effect to all of us down in the San Francisco Bay Area. Once again, we're watching our clock. We hope you are as well. It's 11:46 right now, Pacific time, 12:10. The first time that we will see those tsunami warnings deliver on the impacts.
And speaking of the timeline of this too, this earthquake happened just an hour ago at 10:44. The time now is 11:47, and as we are continuing to keep a close eye on that tsunami warning, we're watching the aftershocks. You can see it on your screen to the top left. There's been 10 aftershocks so far, just offshore, closer to Eureka, all throughout Humboldt County. One of the strongest aftershocks reported so far has now been downgraded to 4.2, but this is continuing to last throughout these communities, and they're continuing to feel those impacts just after that initial shock of a 7.0 magnitude earthquake at 10:44 this morning, just offshore of Humboldt County. And you see that map to the left of your screen, widespread throughout that coastline, anywhere from southern Oregon all the way down into the Bay shoreline near San Francisco, Bodega Bay, down closer to Santa Cruz too. We're now under a tsunami warning until further notice. And when the National Weather Service does issue a tsunami warning, the first thing you need to do, immediately take action. This is a dangerous situation. A tsunami could become widespread. There could be widespread flooding due to the tsunami, and that's either expected or occurring. So the National Weather Service says that dangerous coastal flooding and powerful currents are possible, and they're going to continue throughout the next several hours. And that's what we're seeing right now. Reed mentioned 12:10. That's when they said they're reported to see that really crest into the San Francisco shoreline. Liz?
And I want to make sure we get to this evacuation order out of Berkeley. We mentioned communities all across the Bay Area are impacted by this. Berkeley police issued an evacuation order for West Berkeley, warning people to stay east of 7th Street and telling folks if you are in the tsunami zone, we have those areas up on your screen right now. Berkeley waterfront, Tom Bates Fields, West Frontage Road, I-80 freeway, and Aquatic Park in Berkeley. You need to move away from the shoreline. We just got this alert from the Berkeley Police Department recommending folks in that area to move away from the coastline. We're also hearing BART has shut down service in the Trans Bay Tube due to that earthquake. They're telling folks to find a different way to get across the bay. And we're also hearing they're evacuating some trains as well.
Yeah, and as we start to see the impacts of this, that's the update from the East Bay in Berkeley. We anticipate more East Bay updates, but we also want to let you know what's going on in Eureka right now. And then after that, we're going to talk about an alert, a tsunami warning now issued for San Rafael. But let's go ahead to our guest who is on the phone right now. You are in Eureka. Tell us what you're seeing so far and what kind of warnings are going out to your neighbors.
So we have a large homeless population that's out on the lowlands, and so we are evacuating them right now.
So, and we do know that many of our homeless community, unhoused community do tend to congregate in those water areas. During flooding events, we have seen tragedy after tragedy here in the Bay Area just from rising waters from that. What's the effort then to get people out, those unhoused people in those waterway areas?
Yeah, we've got officers helping move people, and it was a very rolling earthquake. I was standing on the street. It was very gentle but long. And right now we are, there's a few traffic collisions. We have a bridge that is being blocked. We're trying to get people over it. So far it doesn't look like there's too much building damage, but we are just trying to get people to higher ground.
And Laura, you're with the Eureka. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Laura.
If there is a tsunami.
Yeah, and Laura, I just want to reiterate this. If there is a tsunami warning, what are you telling people in your community to do? What are the police urging folks to do right now?
It's hard to hear you, but I'm saying just people need to get to higher ground, and we will let people know when the tsunami warning has been lifted. But it's probably going to be several hours, and we just ask people to be patient.
And are there evacuation evacuation areas that the police department or the fire department has designated in their Eureka area for folks to go yet?
I don't have those in front of me right now, but if our social media shows a map of the areas that are.
I'm getting a report that they didn't.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that. And speaking to social media, I'm also monitoring the neighborhood app, and you are encouraged to monitor any stream of information you can get to help your neighbor. This just came in from the city of San Rafael. So now we're going to jump up into the North Bay. They are advising all people in those coastal and bayfront areas of San Rafael to move to higher ground. Also, They say the tsunami is expected to hit up north at 12 p.m., according to the people with the city of San Rafael. The emergency management officials at Marin County have also issued an alert. They are saying Marin County's ocean and bay coastlines should expect 12 p.m. So listen, we've been telling you 12:10 p.m. for San Francisco Bay Area. Further north, up into Marin County, they are saying noon. So if you are listening to us in Marin County, especially out of Point Reyes, et cetera, up in the north, be aware that in 7 minutes, you will start to see that water crest and go higher. They are saying if you are unable to go to higher ground in Marin County, stay away from harbors, stay away from coastal and low-lying areas until further notice. And Jess, we're understanding that there are 3 levels to these tsunami warnings: a water level, an advisory level, and a warning level. We are at level 3 in that warning.
Which is the one where we need to take immediate action. Exactly. Now, the National Weather Service has issued this. It's dangerous along those coastal areas for coastal flooding and powerful currents that are definitely possible right now. Another thing to mention too, though, is we take a look just at the earthquake aftershocks. We continue to monitor this closely, but by the numbers,
No,
what
there's
the
a lot of scared
USGS
people right
just
now, in my
reported
opinion.
is our aftershock forecast for this specific earthquake. As of now, so about a 5% chance that we'll see anything above a 6.0. As we take a look at the lower percentages, about a magnitude 4.0, where there's still about an 87% chance that we could see one throughout the next week after this. And I think that's important to note too, because we're monitoring in live time. There's community members all throughout that coastline, closer to Eureka, Trinidad, Humboldt County, all along that coast, still feeling the aftershocks. But there's a 99% chance, issued by the USGS, that we will still continue to see more magnitude 3.0 earthquakes as an aftershock after we've seen the strong magnitude earthquake just off the San Andreas fault line impact those community members. And we've been seeing the community members up there send in video and live video of what it looks like right now. It was a rolling earthquake for many community members up there. We saw the aftershock still impacting them. And now the big concern has to do with this tsunami warning that's still in effect right now along our coastline, impacting all the Bay Area here in San Francisco, Oakland, along those bay shorelines,
Oh, me
all the way
too.
from
I do
Bodega Bay
too.
down into Half Moon Bay too.
Yeah, it's important to note, Jess, on that map that you see there in that square on your screen, that includes the San Francisco Bay, which includes several communities. All right, let's start with San Francisco. We spoke to a San Francisco fire personnel, fire captain, who said if you live along those areas along the coastline, I'm talking about, Ocean Beach, Outer Richmond, down by the marina, over by Soma, if you can see a bridge from where you are, chances are you need to get to higher ground. Then you go across the bridge, you're talking about Sausalito, Tiburon, the people who live in the houseboats there, and then you go all the way to Berkeley. Folks in Berkeley are being told if you live along the waterfront to move to higher ground. I believe that was 7th Street. Folks are being told to go beyond 7th Street, move away from the water. When in doubt, move away from the water if you're along those coastal communities. We're also being told schools in Pacifica and the communities along the coastline are being evacuated. So bottom line is, if you live within a mile of the coastline from the beach, if you can walk to the beach, chances are it's time to move to higher ground. And we've seen on the freeways, and folks, a lot of people are just trying to get away and get out of whatever area they're in.
And you're seeing a boat out there on the water, and we are seeing all up and down the coastline boats being brought in. Of course, we know there are many boats for many reasons out on our waters here in the San Francisco Bay Area. They have all been told to get in and to just stay safe. Now, let's just really talk about some news you can use right here. This punctuates the importance of 2 words put together that we hear all the time here in the Bay Area, and that's go bags. Make sure that you grab your go bag. If you have 2 or 3 that keep you prepared for this, get it and get to higher ground. The most important thing that you can use right now is information. So that speaks to needing to have a battery in your bag that can keep your cell phone powered. We know that our friends up in Humboldt County, they are in the dark right now. Electricity is out.
I hate to interrupt you, Reed, but hold on. My producer, Dave, just gave me this important note of information. Say that again, Dave. Okay, we just got word from the National Weather Service that the tsunami threat in the Bay Area is over. Now, we're working to confirm that, but according to my producer, the National Weather Service, Jess, you have some new information as well.
I'll read it from the National Weather Service directly. The tsunami warning is canceled for the coastal areas of both California and Oregon. They're now stating that no tsunami danger is presently in this area, here in the Bay Area. So this will be the final warning from the U.S. National Tsunami Warning Center. That's the final message issued for all of our region, all throughout the
Okay,
Bay,
well,
all
that's
throughout our
good
coastline in
news.
California. We just got this update from the National Weather Service. The tsunami warning is canceled for the coastal areas of California and Oregon. Reed?
So that's not to say, though, that this is not still an important story, because we have seen communities
and I hope it's
mobilize
not
all up and down the
premature.
coastline. We've been showing you images of people on the roads evacuating, bottlenecks of traffic. So regardless of whether that has expired or not, and we're so glad that it has,
Yes.
thank goodness for that, there are still the impacts of that. And that is going to speak to the fact that we still need to be good neighbors, we still need to pass along information, and we still need to be patient out there on the roads, because the roads are going to be jammed for quite some time. The impacts are real.
Okay, I want to get to Ryan Yamamoto. He's in our newsroom. And Ryan, you've got some new information.
Yeah, we've been scouring through social media, looking for different videos of the damage, especially up in Northern California. So we're getting our first look at some of the damage. We've been showing it to you earlier, but let me give you some context of what we're looking at. The first video, this is from the Victoria Inn in Ferndale. You can see that door has collapsed, the glass is shattered, all the bar items and the drinks and the liquor,
This would
that has all
definitely
fallen
traumatize
down.
somebody in
This is in
person.
Ferndale. This was built in 1886. It's called the Victorian Inn. It's about 20 miles south of Eureka. We also have some more damage out of the Ferndale area. This is one ex-user posting video from her home and around town. This, of course, is inside a grocery store. So you can see a lot of things were coming down from the shelves. But, of course, up in Northern California, in that part of the state, we're near the epicenter. I mean, they really felt this 7.0 earthquake. Also, this is footage of damage from a ShopSmart. This is in Redway in Humboldt County. This was actually taken by the fire chief up there. You can see all the cans and all the goods have come down off the shelves. So you can only imagine what that earthquake must have felt like as that shaking was happening of a 7.0 earthquake. And here's some video inside a grocery store in the city of Davis. They felt the shaking all the way there. We felt the shaking as close as City Hall, but some of the lights there are kind of swaying back and forth. So they definitely felt the shaking of that 7.0, even though they're about, 350 miles from the earthquake's epicenter. And then this is a picture of the traffic from Half Moon Bay on Highway 92.
Oh, man.
We had that chopper shot earlier, but those are the people heading out of the peninsula to get to higher ground. Of course, that tsunami warning has now been taken away and is now been canceled. But as you mentioned, Reed, this is definitely having an impact on a lot of people out there. But some more damage of some of the different areas, the grocery stores and businesses up in Northern California that definitely felt the shaking, because they were so close to that epicenter of a 7.0. We're working to get more video and more information coming out of Northern California, but we'll keep you updated. But as you can see, if you were up in Northern California, you definitely felt it, and you definitely experienced some damage from that earthquake.
Yeah, we spoke to a couple people who live up there, Ryan, and they described it as sort of this rolling sensation. And, you know, I've lived in California my whole life, and we know a lot of people up there live there too, and they felt earthquakes, but it doesn't matter. Every single time you feel one, it is shocking.
Oh, yeah, there's that moment, right, where you just kind of stop and you pause. You and I were in the studio for the news show during, I think it was only like a 4.5, and you and I both, we froze and we looked at each other, and then we looked up, and I remember watching the lights above us just swaying back and forth. And so it is an eerie feeling when you feel that. And, you know, I was here during normal.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Lana Zach. We continue to follow this breaking news out of California. Some good news, though. A tsunami warning has been canceled following that 7.0 magnitude earthquake off of the state's northern coast. That earthquake struck 235 miles northwest of San Francisco. That was about 60 miles from Ferndale. Large waves are still being reported in the area, and officials have ordered evacuations in some areas. They're urging people, of course, to get to higher land and to avoid the coastline, even though that tsunami warning has at this point now been canceled. CBS News correspondent Carter Evans joins us from Los Angeles. Carter, even for California, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake, that's a big one. And when we're talking just 60 miles off of California's coast, that's pretty close. Talk to us, give us some context for understanding.
Conditions were right. When I heard about a
everybody.
7.0 magnitude, less than 60 miles off the coast, I immediately
Yeah,
thought
it was
tsunami.
a huge earthquake.
And you've got a little time to prepare because the waves are going to take a little while to get to shore, generally traveling around 30 to 40 miles per hour through the ocean. That's how they can essentially time when they think the waves are going to hit. And that is ultimately probably how they were able to cancel this warning too. The time when they expected the waves to hit based on when the earthquake struck passed and the tsunami did not materialize. And so that is certainly good news. But you're right, this was a big one. Conditions were right for it, just off the coast. And think about the Bay Area too. So many low-lying areas there. So not just along the coast that was concerned, it's along all those waterways on the inland as well, all those homes in Marin County that are down close to the water. Those are big, big concerns. So this was a massive effort to get people away from the water's edge, away from the ocean as fast as possible.
Yes, and Carter, it was interesting watching our colleagues over at KPIX as they were following the people who were still out on the beaches and seeing those helicopter shots, as you can see, it's right there, of people who were still out there because this happened so quickly. It was so close to land. If there was, in fact, a tsunami, we're talking about minutes, not hours. I understand that those evacuation efforts, they were undertaken. Do you know, now that the tsunami warning has been canceled, are officials telling people that they can go back in? Are we just in sort of a period of confusion at this point? What's the best option in order to stay safe?
Probably going to be a lot of confusion right now. But since NOAA basically has canceled this tsunami warning, I think it is safe for people to go back. But, like you, I saw the video from the helicopter there, surfers in the water, and I thought, do they even know there is a tsunami warning right now? There's no communication with them out there. They may not even have any idea. And then you do get some looky-loos that will go down to the beach and try and see if they can see it. Now, one of the clear signs that a tsunami is about to occur is often the water recedes. So it would look like an extreme low tide. And a lot of times, if people haven't been warned, that's enticing. People want to walk out. They can pick up shells and things like that. It's a strange sight to see. That did not occur, fortunately.
Very, very fortunate. Given, though, that this was a very large earthquake, aftershocks always happen. We know that there's already been some of them. Can you tell us a little bit about the possibility of additional aftershocks? What has already been experienced there in California?
So we've already seen a handful of aftershocks, not nearly as big as the first one, but there is still possibility of more of them. Now, a large aftershock, 6.0 or bigger, that percentage is pretty low right now. But for the next week or so, that area could experience aftershocks that are definitely measurable and something that people could feel.
Carter Evans out there for us in Los Angeles. Glad that you and everyone in California are safe and that tsunami warning.
All right, let's go watch Josh.
Thanks, Carter.
Sure.
We want to take you back over to our friends at CBS News.
All right. So y'all, let's go watch Josh. Let's go see what's going on with Josh because he is in California. So let's all go over there and tell him Smiley's World is coming to see him. He knows what's going on and firsthand. And so I'd rather go watch him. But I appreciate you coming over. And let's go see what's happening on the real deal in California. Okay, people? And thank you for coming over and watching. This is not usually my what do you call it? Forte, or I don't even know what to call it. But anyway, this is sad. Just pray for these people. And let's go see what Josh has got to say. Love you all. Talk to you later. Bye. I'll be on later, okay? Bye.